Hello, friends. I am back and I'm excited to share that I have just completed the public conversations project. Yes, I have just completed 3 full intense days of sitting down and listening to the importance of dialogue. And I've learned so much from that conversation. It's just amazing. Some of the highlights for me were that it's important to listen. It's important to build relationships. It is very critical to allow others to speak and to share their views and to be willing to allow them to ask questions and you ask questions as well, but make sure that your questions are not judgmental, or your questions are not trying to tell the person how to present their answers and their concerns. There's a couple of great pieces that I took from the dialogue in terms of the literature. They provided us with some great resources. It's called the Nuts and Bolts Guide from the Public Conversations Project. And basically, it says the role of dialogue in public life. The way we talk with each other makes a difference. And there is no single best way to talk. And I think one of the things that's missing in our communities and at large is that we're not having enough dialogue and we're not doing enough relationship building. And I think that's what was so powerful about this workshop. It was not solution based. However, it was more or less coming to grips with the reality that we need conversation, dialogue. Just the term itself, the word itself, dialogue. Dialogue is one that the word is used in many ways. It states that it is sometimes used to refer to a heart to heart conversation between two people who care deeply about each other and who want their relationship to survive in the tumult of serious disagreements. Some people call almost any exchange of different views a dialogue. Many of the processes in which we go about entertaining dialogue sometimes may not always be the best approach. And what I learned from this conference is that we have to forget about our own voices that are trying to guide the direction of the dialogue and allow people to freely speak from the heart and to share their concerns. And so I was very inspired by it. I think that if we have more roundtable family discussions, we would have a better community. I think if we have more global leaders coming together to not necessarily just hear each other, but more or less understand each other, I think we will have better communities. And why I say this is because I recently returned from the United Nations. And as a youth going into the assembly, I felt very concerned that we were having lots of information presented to us, but we weren't necessarily able to present back. And this is just a concern and an observation of mine. And it's very powerful when you have people that actually care about what your concerns are. And I think that most individuals, as they share, that we don't care what you know, but when we know that you care, we can relate, right? And so that's what this Project Conversations project did for me. I really appreciate the fact that the private donor from Nova Southeastern University have given me the opportunity to engage. If there was a way that I can say thank you, or even if you're out there listening to this clip, I just want to say thank you, thank you. Met some of the most amazing, brilliant minds, and in the 3-day discussion, I was among students from family therapy, the DCAR program, PhD students, master's students, and it just felt very great to know that we can all come together, not knowing each other's background per se, but just a common interest of conversation, a common interest of building relationship. We also learned that it's important to have trust if you're going to have a meaningful discussion. And there were a lot of rules that were set in the discussion that helped us to understand exactly how the structure was going to be played out. And so I just want to say I thank Dave and Allison. I admire you greatly for hosting the workshop here in sunny South Florida. And I look forward to following up on the conversation of how public conversations project can go to the next level. As I've explained in the workshop, I work with quite a bit of youth and young adults through the foundation Leaders Recognizing Leaders. And I'm very concerned to make sure that when we bring people together, when we know what the concerns are, we also have a possible understanding of what's next and possible attempt to help the problem. And so that is just one concern that I've had towards the end. But overall, the experience was very enriching. I am more than willing and happy to share some additional information about communication, the agreements that must be set, the questions, how to even go about asking the questions. And this is interesting because a lot of us don't really think about it, but it's really important how you ask the question. Not so much just the question, but being respectful was a big part of it. Different roles that we play, our politics and power, of course, that's a steep one there. And of course, during the time that we're having this dialogue, exactly what should be said, what should not be said, and how to make the other person feel comfortable. There are probably so many others, and I hope that my colleagues who I participated with can also add to this discussion in this blog. But I just want to say that it was very enriching, and I look forward to trying this model and to establish a better approach for addressing public conversations. So again, thank you for having the patience of allowing me to go through this 3-day conference, and I am certainly more than willing, as I said, ready to share my experiences with the community, and can even come in and give more details as to exactly what went down in the community. So thank you again. Always think global. That's very important, and look forward to connecting at another point. I'm actually getting ready to go and have some nice salad, Caesar salad and chicken. Yeah, gotta have that. Anyway, think global. Yours truly, Edwina.